There was this teacher who was teaching Sunday school about the importance of family and things that money just cannot buy. He said to his young class, money can't buy laughter and it can't buy love. And so to illustrate this point, he told them, what would you do if I offered you $1,000 not to love your mother and father? The whole class kind of fell silent, kind of in shock. Wow, $1,000 not to love my parents. As in every class, there was a wise guy in the back of the room. He raised his hand and said, hey, how much would you give me not to love my big sister? Obviously, some of the people in our lives that we would call family members are easier to love than others. On this feast day of the Holy Family, the Church invites us to put into practice what we are in reality, family. And so let us then live as family. And true enough, every one of us makes up a part of the larger family that is the Church. But we become stronger members in that family if we become stronger members in our immediate families. And we start by making our natural families into more loving homes. And so to measure how much we are all contributing to making our families such a place, a loving home, we have to be able to ask ourselves how much of the 3 A's, affection, attention, and appreciation, we're giving to each and every member of our families. And take a look at the first A, the first one, affection. We have to take a little bit more of a detailed look. The Holy Family of Nazareth, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, are put before us by the Church this weekend as a model for our families. We, of course, call them the Holy Family. But that does not mean that they did not have any problems. Just as every family has to face problems and to overcome them, or to put that another way, we all have crosses to carry. So also the Holy Family have to carry their own crosses. And there are many crosses come to mind if you just simply look through Scripture. We can easily imagine how misunderstood both Mary and Joseph must have been when Mary conceived our Lord through the power of the Holy Spirit. Their story would have been very hard to believe by others. Even Mary herself had it kind of rough early on in her pregnancy when Joseph was planning to divorce her quietly before the angel came to him and told him in a dream, you are to be the foster father of the Christ child. When the time for our Lord's birth came, as we all know, it took place in a cave, a place where animals were kept, because Bethlehem was already so crowded. Then shortly after the birth of our Lord Jesus, the Holy Family had to flee into Egypt as refugees, because our Lord Jesus' life was in danger due to the evil jealousy of King Herod. And Mary and Joseph suffered terribly, experiencing the losing of Jesus for those 3 days. He was about 12 years old. They finally found him back at the temple, had to then wrestle and wonder about the mystery of his words. He had to be about his Father's business. Now, we don't hear anything more about Joseph after that in Scripture, so we can presume that before Jesus began his public ministry, that Joseph had died, meaning that the Holy Family suffered some of the greatest of pain, the loss of a loved one through death. Now, the Lord's public ministry at times must have given Mary such incredible pride in her son, but it must also have been at times a great source of sorrow. In Mark chapter 3, we can just imagine one such occasion. When Jesus came back to Nazareth, his relatives, all the cousins and so forth, came to try to throw him out of town by force, thinking that he was insane. Not a very pleasant experience for any family to go through, even a Holy Family. And there, of course, was growing hostility to Jesus by the Jewish authorities that had to have caused huge pain for both Mary and her son, especially as it became increasingly obvious that what Jesus said all along would come to pass. They were going to put him to death. But what kept the Holy Family together, and quite frankly sane, throughout all of these trials and crosses? Well, it was love. the love they had for each other triumphed in the end, as does the love that we have for our family members. Whenever our families are successful, it's because they are places of love. The Holy Family was, first and foremost, a place of love. If any of you have not experienced that in your own families, I just told you where to go. The Holy Family. There is your place of love. You have a place there. The next A is attention. There's all kinds of threats here in the modern world facing families today, but you can make a really good argument that the greatest threat facing families is simply we don't spend enough time together. We're so busy working, socializing, watching TV or video games, we have less and less time for each other. There's a story about a lawyer who lived far away from her elderly father. Months had passed since they had been together face to face, and her father called on the phone to ask when she might come and visit. The daughter gave him a list of reasons that prevented her from taking the time to see him. Court schedules, meetings, new clients, research, and so forth. When she was done giving her list of excuses, the father asked, "When I die, do you intend to come to my funeral?" The daughter's response was immediate. "Dad, I can't believe you'd ask that. Of course I'll come." To which the father replied, "Well, good. Forget about the funeral and come now, because I need you now more than I would need you then." Spending time together with the family is a way of showing our family that we love them. When we love our family, we want to sacrifice ourselves by spending, notice the word, spending time with them. And all the more so when we realize that by not spending time, we're depriving them of our love. The final A is appreciation. So very often we do not fully appreciate those whom we share the majority of our lives with. But here's something to help you to better appreciate your family members. Saint John Paul II once said, "Dear fathers and mothers, believe in your vocation. That beautiful vocation of marriage and parenthood which God has given to you. Believe that God is with you. For all parenthood in heaven and on earth takes its name from Him. And do not think that anything you will do in life is more important than to be a good Christian father and mother. The future of the church, the future of humanity, depends in great part on parents and on the family life that they build in their homes. The family is the true measure of the greatness of a nation, just as the dignity of man is a true measure of civilization." Greatly appreciate the roles you have been given by God. Husband, wife, father, mother, brother, sister. And definitely appreciate the great responsibility that you have in those roles, for so much depends on the strength of the family. So meditate on this. If children live with constant criticism, they learn to condemn. If children live with hostility, they learn to fight. If children live with ridicule, they learn to be too shy. If children live with shame, they learn to feel constantly guilty. But on the other hand, when we uplift and encourage children, we help them for their entire lives. If children live with tolerating the good but not the bad, they learn to be patient. If children live with encouragement, they learn confidence. If children live with praise that is justly given, they learn humility and appreciation. And if children live with fairness, they learn justice. If they live with security, they learn to have faith. And if children live with approval, they learn to love themselves. And if children live with acceptance and friendship, they learn to find love even in this dark, crazy world. Now, of course, the greatest of these three A's is, of course, affection. It's love. Back in August of 1999, there was an article published in the Reader's Digest that talked about the difficulties of parents. In the article, the author commented that she still remembers a piece of advice she heard some years earlier, which continued to inspire her to give her best to her children. The piece of advice was given by Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa had given a speech about her work with the sick, the dying, and the orphans in India. And afterwards, a member of the audience asked, "You've done so much to make the world a better place. What can we do?" Mother Teresa smiled and simply said, "Love your children." Not pleased with the answer, the questioner was about to speak again when Mother said, No. There are other things you can do, but that is the best. Love your children. Love your children as much as you can. That is the best.